Why do we celebrate Sunday as the Sabbath? Luke 23, verses 54 and 56 says, rest on the seventh day. Wouldn't that be Saturday? So the question that's asked is, why do we celebrate Sunday as the Sabbath? My answer to that is, we don't celebrate the Sabbath at all. And I'm going to suggest to you, actually no one today observes the Sabbath. Get Exodus 31, verse 14. Exodus 31 and verse 14. Exodus 31, 14. Ye shall keep the Sabbath therefore, for it is holy unto you. Every one that defileth it shall surely be put to death. For whosoever doeth any work therein, that soul shall be cut off from among his people. 6 days may work be done, but in the seventh is the Sabbath of rest, holy to the Lord. Whosoever doeth any work in the Sabbath day, he shall surely be put to death. So do you observe the Sabbath today? Whether you think it's Saturday or Sunday or whatever you think it is, do you actually observe it? And how many of you actually go to your neighbor and say, Fred, you're a great neighbor, really like you, but if you mow your yard again on Saturday, I'm coming over there with stones. How many of you do that? And of course, no one does. By the way, is there anyone so audacious as to say that they have never done what the Bible defines as work on the Sabbath? Look with me at Numbers 15, verse 32. Numbers chapter 15, verse 32. And while the children of Israel were in the wilderness, they found a man that gathered sticks upon the Sabbath day. And they that found him gathering sticks brought him unto Moses and Aaron, and unto all the congregation. They put him in ward, because it was not declared what should be done to him. And the Lord said unto Moses, the man shall be surely put to death. All the congregation shall stone him with stones without the camp. And all the congregation brought him without the camp, and stoned him with stones, and he died, as the Lord commanded Moses. So anyone doing any yard work at all on the Sabbath, something as simple as gathering sticks, that was punishable by death. And what I'm going to suggest to you, you can decide for yourself, I don't think anyone is actually trying to keep the Sabbath today. I just don't think they are. There's rules on Sabbath day journeys as well. So get with me Colossians 2:16. Colossians chapter 2:16. And what Colossians 2 is going to tell us is there has been a dispensational change. In other words, there was new revelation, there was the dispensation of grace given to the Apostle Paul. As a result of that, saved people are not under the law, they are under grace. Look with me at Colossians 2:16. And when you look at Colossians 2:16, tell me if it teaches the same doctrine as Exodus 31. Let no man therefore judge you in meat or in drink, or in respect of an holy day, or of the new moon, or of the Sabbath days. When Colossians 2:16 says, let no man judge you in meat or drink, or the new moon, or Sabbath days, and so on, what it's saying is, as a saved person, you have liberty to decide your meat and drink. You have liberty to decide what you do at a new moon. And you also have liberty regarding Sabbath days. Now I want you to think about this with me just for a minute. Think if you're in Numbers 15 and you're the guy that gathered all these sticks and they're getting ready to stone you. Well, do you raise your hand and say, wait, hold on. You got to look at Colossians 2:16. Because what you are about to do is you are about to judge me based on how I have observed the Sabbath day. Isn't Numbers 15 a rather severe form of judging about the Sabbath day? They stoned him to death. Does Colossians 2:16 teach the same thing as Numbers 15? I mean, it doesn't. Look with me at Romans 14, verse 5. Romans chapter 14 and verse 5. Romans 14, 5. One man esteemeth one day above another. Another esteemeth every day alike. Let every man be fully persuaded in his own mind. How do you deal with Sabbath days today? How do you deal with holy days? According to Romans 14, that's a matter of individual conviction. And what you need to do as a believer is you need to study the Scriptures, and you need to be fully persuaded in your own mind. That's the way that grace works. You're not under the Old Testament regulations pertaining to the Sabbath.